Up on the show, we got a cross-country member, a girl,
Gabby Loren.
Welcome to the brand new show, What Makes Up WMS, where we talk about clubs, teams, and everything that makes up our school. I'm Amelia, and assisting me is
Adri.
And today we're going to interview the president of Student Council herself,
Bella Sophia.
Much for your time, miss. Get comfortable. I'm Amelia, and
I'm Adri.
so we're going to ask you some questions. But before we do, tell us a bit about yourself. About like being in student council, about your life and stuff. Just introduce yourself.
I'm Bella Sophia, and being in student council and just school at WMS is kind of fun. I get to see my friends every day and interact with everyone and be able to play a big part in creating like ideas for the school and having other people's input to help us create fun things for the school.
All right, that's neat. So you want to start us off, Adriana?
Sure.
What is the main purpose of student council and what do you do there?
The main purpose is kind of like to interact with our peers more and like kind of get ideas from each other, but like figure it out as like a core group instead of like having a bunch of stuff thrown at us. We like kind of talk about it there, and we just like kind of put our own input in it. And like you obviously have to have good academics and like good history in the school, so they choose like the right kids for it and stuff.
Okay, that's nice.
That's great. So, say that the school was raided by aliens. What is your appropriate reaction, and like what would you do first?
I think I'd probably like get help, because I mean that's very unusual. I feel like I wouldn't really know what to do, because like it's something that doesn't really happen that often.
So you wouldn't throw your teacher at the UFO?
I don't think so, but I mean I feel like a few students here could. I don't know.
Yeah, I could totally see that happening.
What's more important to you, creativity or logic?
Sorry, what?
What's more important to you, creativity or logic?
I think, okay, that's a good question. I think creativity, but I think both play a huge part into whatever you're doing, because I feel like you can never be too creative. I feel like you can always add as much as you want. Like you can never be too creative, but also it has to make sense. Like you can't really do anything without it making sense or it won't work out.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, since like student council plans events and ideas for the school, you care to like explain some of your ideas for like the future of the school and stuff?
We've had I don't really just come up, I don't want to just take credit for any specific idea, because we all put our own opinion into it. But I mean, some ideas we've had are like, have a garden outside to like fundraise and stuff, and like, plants and everything. We've had like a talent show. We came up with the movie night idea that we had recently, and just like, the fun things that happen throughout the school. Some haven't been taken up, which is understandable, but we've definitely come up with some fun things to make the school better.
That's great.
What traits do you personally think help student council members?
I think leadership, most definitely, because we're kind of like the leaders of the school. The students are kind of following in our footsteps, I feel like. And also, like, to be open-minded and not closed-minded, because obviously when you're in student council, you take in ideas from other people, so you can't just like be reserved for yourself. You have to like be able to know who you're taking it from and like how to connect the dots and stuff like that.
So basically selflessness and stuff, and do all that. Perfect. So if you and your friends were in an apocalypse, say like zombie type stuff, do you think you would last long? Why or why not?
I think we would, because I feel like I think we use our brains pretty well. I'm not gonna lie. And I feel like we can come up with many ideas, because like as like friends, me and my friends, we've obviously like created ideas in our head about like stuff like that happening, and like maybe not like that specifically, but like just like problems, and we've come up with like ideas to solve it, like just when we're bored for fun. So I feel like we would be able to survive it pretty well, and if we like got the resources that we needed and like took the right precautions, I feel like we could.
Great. I wish I could say the thing about my friends, but yeah.
Alright. A zombie has broken through the roof. Will you flee, sacrifice someone, or what would you do?
I don't think I would sacrifice someone. I feel like I would kind of take as much precaution as I could with everyone, not just for myself, because, you have to help everybody out, not just yourself, if you want that in return, obviously, or just because you need to help people out.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else you would like to add?
No.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And it's greatly appreciated. You have an amazing day.
So next up on the show, we got the cross country member,
Gabby Lorenz.
Gabby, thank you so much for being on the show. And before we start interviewing you and giving you the questions, tell us a bit about yourself. Introductions.
My name's Gabriella. My favorite color is green. I like turtles and penguins.
Very nice. We all love our animals. Anyone else? Anything else?
No, got it.
All right, let's start. I'm Amelia, by the way, and that is
Adrian.
What was the farthest you've ever run?
The farthest I've ever ran was probably, I want to say, practice-wise, on my own, 8.5 miles. Cross-country-wise, probably like 4.5 miles.
Okay.
you're fast. So, what do you think the future holds for like cross country? You think you're gonna be like in tournaments, races, or any like other big event?
Yeah, I want to continue doing cross country. It's one of my hobbies, and I hope to do it in the future too, and hopefully it gets me into a good college, stuff like that,
Efficient.
Yeah.
Say you turned into the Flash or any really fast superhero. What's your first order of business?
If I turn to the Flash, I'm going to the Olympics, and I'm going to run, and I'm going to win.
That's a very good answer.
Yeah. You go run across the world in 1 second. Yeah, I imagine you make millions from that. So who's your like idol? Whether that's a student, an athlete, or anyone else, like who inspires you?
My idol, probably, I want to say, like, Serena Williams, since she's very, like, proactive and she does things, like, in advance, and she takes a lot of action. She is an athlete, which I'm an athlete also, not a professional one, though. And she's just, she's very inspiring.
Nice.
What are some of your milestones or something you did in cross country that you're proud of?
One thing I did in cross country when I was in 6th grade that I'm very proud of is I ran my first 1.5 miles after not running for like 2 years, and I did it in about 5 minutes.
Wow.
So,
Impressive. Think fast. Cats or dogs?
Cats,
Why?
because cats are better, and they're easier to tame, I feel like.
You want a dog though?
I have a dog, actually, but I would rather have a cat, but I love my dog.
Fake, I tell you. But thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great day. Anything else you would like to add?
No.
All right.
Thank you for your time.
Next up, we're going to be interviewing the girl from journalism, Emily Zelensky.
My favorite color is rose gold. My favorite animal is a cat. And that's really it.
Thank you so much. So, first question. Why is journalism important to you?
Because I feel like it shows who I am through art, like showing through the warrior messenger.
Nice.
What are some major setbacks of being a journalist at WMS?
It makes me feel like a part of one of the many groups here, like for example, sports or like art and stuff like that.
That's really good, deep. How important is journalism in today's world, do you think? How do you think?
I feel like it's one of the things we need in the world to like show news and like see how the world is doing around the world, like maybe not in the US but maybe somewhere else in the world we don't know about. So journalism could show that, like posting online of what's going on in our world.
That's really impressive.
What would you tell someone that wants to join journalism club?
I would tell them that it's fun and like you get to pick your own work, so it's not like any other subject. So they should join.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Say you see a robber running from the police, like movie style. What is your reaction as a journalist? Like, would you run at them and be like, yo, give me your name? Like, tell us something. Be creative.
I would, like, what's it called? Like, I do whatever journalism does. I interview them and stuff and say, like, what are they running away from? That's one. What if they've done robberies or whatever they're doing before, and like stuff like that.
Name something crazy that could happen during an interview. Like, I mean, a tornado, an alien invasion. Get creative with it.
Like maybe a weather storm coming and chasing us, and then we have to run away. I don't know.
Good response.
Yeah, very creative. I could imagine that happening. So, anything else you would like to add?
No.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. Good luck in the journalism club, and have an amazing day.
And that's it for now.
This episode of What Makes Up WMS, we have the band member
Alex DiNicola.
Welcome to this episode of What Makes Up WMS. So we're here to interview you about band. But first off, give us like a little introduction about yourself. Some stuff.
My name is Alex DiNicola, and I play soccer and I like to crochet.
All right, that's some great background info. So for the questions, what made you join band, and what's your favorite band?
I joined it mostly because it was just something open, and I wanted to try it out. And my brother played it, and it's just like a fun hobby to play.
Nice. What instrument do you play, and what's the most challenging part of playing it?
I play percussion, and probably the most challenging part is like doing new harder pieces, and especially if you have like notes to play, it's sometimes confusing to get right.
Interesting. So how does band affect your life, attitude, and like any aspect of your life positively?
It just makes me calm, and it improves like my health, and I just like have better like problem solving skills.
Interesting. What's your favorite song, and would you like the band to play it?
My favorite song is probably like "Beautiful Things" by Benson Moon, and I would love for my band to play it because I feel like I'd enjoy it, and I probably want to learn it more to flex off.
That's a great song. Yeah, flex off for the kids in math class.
Yep.
Yeah. So what's a bit of advice you give to a band?
I would say practice every day and don't be afraid of mistakes because everyone makes them, and if you just keep practicing, you can learn.
If your instrument just started to play like itself, like it's a haunted. If your instrument started to play one day, like it's haunted, what would you do? Call the Ghostbusters?
I'd probably be scared and just like throw it and run out of the room, and I'd probably just take the sticks and start hitting it and just maybe call 911 or something.
That's a reasonable answer.
That's not what I'm gonna do. You gotta think you're delusional. If the whole band got shut down, would you believe they would give a good performance regardless?
Yeah, the instruments might play like a really high pitch, but I feel like it can still be good.
Well, anything else you'd like to add, sir?
No, thank you.
Alright, thanks so much for joining us on this episode. Viewers, welcome back to the brand new. Cut. Viewers, welcome back to welcome to a brand. No, wait, go.
Wait, I redo it?
What's that?